vez que eu te vi, menina, meu coração pulou pra boca. Da primeira vez que eu te vi, menina, meu coração pulou pra boca.
Instead of going on our honeymoon immediately after getting married, my husband and I decided to go on a trip with 20 of our friends who had flown to Brazil for the wedding. And we went to a national park that's 3 hours outside of Brasilia called Chapada. And the trip started off with an adventure because we decided to stop at a waterfall on our way to São Jorge, which is where we were staying at. And we were caught in some crazy dirt roads. You survived!
We made it!
Woo! He's gonna come up and he's gonna be orange. Even though we thought we were gonna get stuck in the mud on our way to this hike, we successfully made it, and it was truly such a good start to the trip. We just had to do a short hike that was about 20 minutes long, and we made it to the first waterfall, which is called Corus. We made it! And it was literally gorgeous. We immediately went into the water, and we spent the whole rest of the afternoon sunbathing and swimming and soaking it all up. We stayed at this first waterfall for a few hours and basically left right before the sun started to set so we could drive back in the crazy dirt roads. And the thing about Chapada dos Veadeiros is that there is no signal whenever you get to any hike, and we needed to fill up the car with gas before we got to the town that we were staying at, but we didn't really know which direction to go into, so we had to wait for Pedro's cousin to arrive in her car so she could help us out.
How much gas do you guys have?
Half a tank.
Dude, we have 2 little things.
Not an efficient car.
The town that we are staying is this way. This way is the town that has gas station.
Once we sorted out our directions, we were on our way to São Jorge, which is the town that we were staying at, and arrived at our hotel, which was called Bagua Bungalows. We dropped off our bags, got all settled in, and had dinner at our hotel. Bom dia, good morning. Today's our first full day in Chapada. We have such a good group. We're 20 of us and we arrived yesterday. On the way here, we did a hike that was really, really nice. It's called Corus and it was beautiful. Then we got here and had dinner, and dinner was yummy, but honestly, they took forever with our food. So we ended up going to bed later than we wanted to, but today's our first full day. It's not even 8 a.m. right now. We woke up super early, naturally, without an alarm. We're already dressed, going to breakfast at Bagua Bungalows, which is where we're all staying. We're walking over now to eat brekkie. Good morning. Are you happy to be here?
Yeah.
I have so many good friends.
Yeah.
Family. Yeah. I think you fell out of a coconut tree. The coolest part about our hotel is that we're basically inside of the national park, just like a 5-10 minute walk away from the entrance, which is great. This is Pedro and I's second time in Chapada. We came in 2022, basically 2 years ago exactly. But when we came, we didn't stay in São Jorge, which is where we're at right now. We stayed in an Airbnb that was in between São Jorge and another town called Alto Paraíso. So it's really nice to be in the town this time, and also to be with such a big group and so many friends. So yeah, let's get this day going and let's have the best day ever. She goes. Our hotel had breakfast included, so we decided to all meet up there in the morning and eat together, and it was just such a lovely way to start off the day. And we also made sure to pack up snacks for the trip, so we took some Brazilian cheese bread and also asked them to make an extra tapioca to go, and took it in our backpack. And then we were off to our first full day in Chapada, which we spent at the national park, which was a very short walk away from our hotel.
Chapada!
Holy moly! Even though there are many different trails in the park, we decided to do the yellow trail, which is about 11 kilometers round trip and takes around 6 to 7 hours total to complete. We're thriving. And the first stop that we did was at the Salto do Rio Preto viewpoint, which is this 120-meter free fall, and it was so gorgeous. We just went to the very first waterfall, which is called Saltos, and now we're going to the second waterfall, which is called Saltos 2 or Saltos 2, and it's even more beautiful, so I'm excited. excited. This waterfall that we're about to go to, Saltos Dois, is one where you can swim. So I'm very excited about that. And I remember from the last time that I came here 2 years ago, this was, I think, my favorite one of the waterfalls. But we didn't swim. So I'm excited to swim right now because we're sweaty. We're almost there. And we made it. We stayed at Saltos Dois for a little while, swam in the water, and also had a little snack. And on our way out, we actually saw the cutest little monkeys, and we were all in awe, and everyone was just taking pictures and stopped in their tracks. They're very cute. The monkeys.
Yeah, like you got it probably into a... Oh, you're aggressive, man.
Macaquinhos. This day was actually incredibly hot, so as we left the first waterfall, I felt a little bit dehydrated, so I stopped to drink some water and slowed down my pace, so I kind of stayed on the back part of the group a little bit. And as we started to make our way to the second waterfall, which was called Carrossel, we could kind of see down and see the rest of the group already starting to swim. We just left Saltos and we looked at the Mirante, which was this really beautiful view from above. And now we're going to the second waterfall where we can swim. How are we feeling? Good. We made it. It was a long hike down, but we're here and this is so stunning. After leaving that second waterfall, we went to the last stop of the hike, which was called Corredeiras, and that stands for rapids in Portuguese, and it was just made up of these small waterfalls and natural pools, which was nice to get a last little refreshing swim before we started to make our way out of the park. We're leaving the park. 5 p.m. right now. We just got back to the entrance after a very long hike back. Everyone's tired, but we made it, and now we're gonna go watch the sunset, eat good food, and relax. Woohoo! Yeah! Woo! Success! We made it back! Woohoo! Yeah! Even though everyone was absolutely exhausted after that last little bit of hiking, we really wanted to take our friends to a sunset spot called Mirante, and honestly, it was the best decision ever. Cheers! The vibes were truly immaculate. Everyone was so happy, the drinks were really good, and they were playing live music, and we just sat there soaking it all up and watching a beautiful sunset.
Hello, Ramona. I can't shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, Ramona. I reach through mysterious ceilings, my only hope. I look for the things I don't know.
Because maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me.
For all in this, I stand alone.
Good morning. We're about to head over to have breakfast. It's 8 a.m. and we're doing another trail today. Yesterday we hiked so much, so everyone's pretty tired. I also forgot to mention this, but yesterday was actually Pedro and I's 4-year anniversary, which is so cute. And we're doing this trip, I don't think I mentioned on camera, as a like post-wedding trip with all of our friends to show them Brazil, to show them a place that's really special to us. And it's also been so fun how both the wedding and this trip tied together with Pedro and I's dating trajectory. And so it just feels really special to be here. And I slept really well, so I'm feeling energized and ready. And also I'm hungry and I'm ready to get some food. Let's go. A lot of people from our group were pretty tired going into this day, so a few people stayed back, but most of the crew went on, and we actually went to a few different trails on this day, but they were all trails that Pedro and I had never been to. The first trail we went to was called Almesigas, and there were 2 waterfalls. We decided to go to Almesigas 2 first, and it was a really, really chill waterfall. There was this big rock, and a few of us jumped from that rock into the cold water and just spent some time swimming and sunbathing, and it was just delightful. After about an hour or so, we continued on to the other waterfall, which was called Almesigas 1, and you guys, take a look at this. It was truly one of the most stunning things I have ever seen. It was magnificent, super beautiful, and one of the highlights of the trip for sure. Seriously, so stunning. I honestly liked it more than the previous one, but just because it was so unique. We decided not to go down to swim in it, so we're gonna go back to the car, then we're gonna drive to another park. So far so good, and today is the first day that we're going to the waterfalls and the parks that I haven't been to. Yesterday and the day before I had been to those parks and those waterfalls, but it's cool to see new things and explore new parks, and it's just so nice to be with friends and be doing this. So I'm very, very happy and honestly just very grateful. Yeah, there's still so much more, but there are a couple of people that are leaving today. My brother and 2 friends have a flight tomorrow morning, so they're leaving soon, and we also have some friends that were kind of tired from yesterday that didn't decide to join us. Honestly, it's been such a good trip so far, and I'm having the best time. It's also so cool because I'm still in that like post-wedding weekend bliss, and so my heart is just so full right now. After hiking back to our car, we drove to the entrance of Almesigas and said our goodbyes to the people that were leaving, which was my brother and 2 of our friends, and it felt really bittersweet sending part of our group off, but we just gave everyone hugs and got back into the car to go to our next stop, which was called Cordoviu, and we literally got there right as the park entrance was about to close. Decided to come to another waterfall called Cordoviu, and literally the last entry is at 1:30 and it's 1:29, so everyone's arriving, buying their tickets, and it's all gonna work out. We're gonna make it in. So far, today has been literally gorgeous. I loved the spot we were just at, and it reminded Pedro and I a lot of the Catskills in upstate New York, which we went to last year. The waterfall was really beautiful. The water was very, very cold, but it was really nice. Had some snacks, had some tapioca, and now we're off to our last sightseeing spot for the day. It's just Pedro and I in the car right now. And we're meeting everyone at Vale da Lua, which is a spot that supposedly looks like the moon. It's not so much for swimming or really that much hiking, it's more at the sightseeing. So we're heading there now. It's about 3:40 right now, and then after that we're gonna go back to the house, shower, and just have a game night, relax, do something chill in the evening. We made it to Vale da Lua. Looks really cool. I'm on the moon! Vale da Lua means Moon Valley, and it's so cool. Honestly, Vale da Lua was like nothing I have ever seen before. It was really interesting to see, and I'm so glad we went. And the reason that it looks the way that it does is that there's this river called Rio São Miguel, which has carved through sand and rock over many years to create this really cool gray landscape that looks like the moon and has these craters, and you can kind of like go underneath it and get closer to the water, and it's just something really unique that I'm glad we got to experience. So we spent a little bit of time there and then drove through some more dirt roads back to São Jorge, and we stopped for some açaí on our way, which was honestly a move. We stopped for a little bit of açaí post-hiking. This is hitting the spot, so good. This is Brazilian açaí, and it's perfection. Very chill night tonight. We're gonna be hanging out at the house that we're staying at and just having everyone over. We're gonna have some drinks, and they're picking up some pizza, but I can't eat gluten, so we're picking up some food for me at the restaurant at the hotel that we're staying at. It's gonna be a lovely time. It's Thursday morning. We just woke up to have our last breakfast here and have our last hike as well. I'm just soaking it all up. On our final day, we started out just like all of the other days, which was with a group breakfast at the hotel, and there were some of our friends who were also leaving early that morning. So we said goodbye to them, got in our cars, packed them up with all of our bags, and headed out to our last hike of the trip, which was called Segredo, and that translates to secret in English. So I was honestly intrigued to see what this waterfall was going to be like in person, and I knew that it was supposed to be really impressive. Honestly, the trails to get there were really chill. There were a few different bridges that we had to cross that were pretty thin and a little scary. Oh, this is so scary! But for the most part, it was a very, very chill trail, and we stopped at a natural pool on the way there and swam for a little bit, and it was a really hot day, so it was very refreshing and lovely. And after stopping at this little pool, we continued on to the trail to the big waterfall. It's our last day in Chapada. I'm so sad, but this trip has just been so amazing. It's been truly filling up my cup, and it's been really cool to see new parts of this beautiful place, be with friends. We were thinking of doing this hike yesterday and then ended up doing it today instead because it's a little bit of a longer trail and we missed the entry time yesterday by like 30 minutes. But honestly, this is the perfect hike to end the trip on. And we just went to the first pool, which was gorgeous. There were tons of little fishes and it just made me feel like a fairy. Now we're going to our second spot, which is either gonna be a pool or the big waterfall, which is the highlight of this hike. And it's supposed to be very striking and very beautiful. So I can't wait to see it. Last year, Pedro and I went to LA in May, and we did a hike there that honestly was really similar to where we're walking through right now. So it's kind of taking me back. This is actually crazy. I'm shook. Beautiful, right? Lindo. That last waterfall was literally incredible. It was definitely my favorite one of the entire trip. I'm so happy we went. And I was telling our friends, there's this phrase in Portuguese that goes, fechando com chave de ouro. It translates to closing with a golden key. It just basically means like when you close off an experience, a moment, a trip, literally in the best way possible. And that's exactly how that felt. It was so insanely gorgeous. The rocks were shining in some parts, and other parts it was kind of like yellowy orange. There was such lush green trees, and there was this one singular orange tree in the middle of it. We saw this gorgeous blue butterfly flying over the rocks, and the water was really cold, but it was so refreshing, and I felt like a mermaid, and I felt one with nature, and it was just so nice. And this is the last pool that we're stopping at before we head out. Also so beautiful. Everyone's hanging, chilling for a little.
Olha o tanto de peixe que tá na bia aqui.
Wow.
I just got back to the house after the most amazing day. It's about 3:30 right now. Took a quick shower, freshened up, and we're putting everything in the car now to leave. Sad. We're gonna stop by a very local spot to have a bite to eat before we have to drive back to Brasilia. The drive is about 3 hours long, so it'll be the perfect amount of fuel. And I'm pretty sure this spot that we're going to, they have something called PF, or PF, which is prato feito, like a pre-made plate. So I think that's what we're gonna eat, and I feel absolutely incredible. So happy, so overjoyed. This has been the best trip ever. But yeah, I'm just feeling incredibly at peace. There's something so amazing about being in nature with friends, with loved ones, soaking up pure magic. And swimming in waterfalls is just such a healing experience, and today's waterfall was probably one of the most beautiful spots I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've traveled a good amount, so that made me very happy, and I'm leaving this trip with a very full cup. Also didn't really show you guys the house, so here's a sneak peek. Pedro and I were staying up there on the room in the top floor. I had this little outdoor area. This is the inside of the house. Bye.